Elon Musk has just simply not given up. And it looks like he's not going to leave Pennsylvania until November 5th and possibly afterwards, promising $1 million a day to people that are signing up to sign a petition for freedom of speech. Now, Elon Musk is an interesting character. Of course, we all just saw him catching his giant rocket that will hopefully take us to Mars and make us a two-planet species and maybe even beyond. He has said that he wants to be in charge of the Government Efficiency Agency. Imagine what government agencies could look like in 4 years. On the left is SpaceX Raptor engine in 2020. The mechanics of it, jumbled mess, wildly intricate, but still impressive and functional. On the right, in 2024, visions of the same Raptor engine, its mechanics simple, sleek, and elegant as one could rightfully imagine. More powerful, efficient, and Elon, fresh off the maiden return of his Starship Super Heavy booster, reposted the dual image caption with a single word, "Yep." This is a custom-built tower with arms that are designed to catch the largest flying and heaviest flying object ever made and pluck it out of the sky. It is pretty impressive if you haven't seen it. Let's go ahead and watch it real quick.
It's a custom-built tower with arms that are designed to catch the largest and heaviest flying object ever made and pluck it out of the air. I mean, that's the theory anyway. So
Elon just said, delete the legs, delete. We're like, well, what's like, you just use the arms, and then you said it again. I mean, they go, wow, he's serious. Okay, we better get on this. And now it seems normal. Or
it'll weigh about 250 tons. We'll make that lighter over time. So you got call it a couple hundred tons, plummeting at more than half the speed of sound. So this thing is still coming in really fast.
Yeah.
Pretty much down in a downward direction. So then they light the engines. So it's got to slow itself down very fast and correct any error.
All right, well, you get the point. They're nerding out over there. They're doing absolute wild things, simply things that government just could not do and would not try. One thing that he didn't explain, though, like with no legs, how are they going to land on Mars? And maybe they don't land that thing on Mars. Maybe it just launches the actual container or vessel that's going to send everyone and all the supplies and materials to Mars, and this comes back down, and that's the super heavy is just to get off Earth. Talk about progress. Elon, a fully reusable rocket is barely possible. We're going to do it anyway. The pivotal breakthrough was necessary that some companies had tried many times over. The next generation of Starlink satellites, which are so big that only Starship can launch them, will allow for a 10x increase in bandwidth and with the reduced altitude, faster latency. So this guy, and this is my prediction, I mean 5 years from now, he's going to make AT&T obsolete. Everyone is just going to be direct satellite connected, internet and cable and their phones. Hell, right now, with the internet I have, I'm not even hooked up to any wires for my internet. They sent me a thing and it just picks up off the 5G tower that's close by, slowly melting my brain away. Not the fastest in the world. I do gotta say, uploading to YouTube takes a little bit. Gonna need to work on that. In fact, I actually want to kind of return it to get something that would hook up to the internet, but nonetheless, guys, this is it. Donald Trump just won the election. Trump works the drive-thru at McDonald's in Pennsylvania.
Do it, I'm doing it. I like the idea. We have plenty of time. I don't know. What do you want? Do you want something while you're there?
French fries.
I'll tell you what. How about if we gave you some French fries? All right? Are you? That's sort of a bribe, but I think a bribe for $1 is okay, right? I'm going to get you some French fries. Somebody come up here and take them. Let's get them some French fries, okay?
Let's get you some French fries. It's sort of a bribe. Donald Trump is doing this to show himself that, he's a people person. He's relatable. This actually, I think, helps with his breaking through the media narrative that his personality, he's unpersonable, which I think he's a very personable person. If you look at any interviews he's had before 2016, people say this about him all the time. They'll go to his office to interview, and 20 minutes in, they're realizing they're getting interviewed. They're having a conversation with the man. And also it is to kind of piss on Kamala Harris, more or less, saying that she worked at McDonald's. She's never produced any evidence that she's worked at McDonald's. There's been no company records that have surfaced of her working at McDonald's. It's just kind of a lie, and the media really refused to dig into it. Now I've worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala. Trump said on Sunday. Trump is nothing more than a sock puppet for billionaires when it comes to the policies that matter for working people's bank account. Josh Costello posted on X. Trump loves fast food so well, the former president has been photographed eating McDonald's on his campaign plane. And in 2019, he served college athletes visiting the White House, McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King. This guy does love fast food. Trump, please slow down on the fast food, man. Your arteries are begging, okay? You're getting up there. You need to watch your health. But this is awesome. The crowds were absolutely massive, which, of course, there's no videos of that in here. I mean, they were massive, and this is deep in Philadelphia, blue area. Oh, look at this. The Hill has actually updated their presidential forecast to 50-50. They are lagging on this. This has been off for multiple weeks now.
There's nothing she can do or say.
Who's voting for Kamala Harris here? Absolutely no.
No,
No.
not possible.
There's nothing she can do or say for us to change our mind.
Who's voting for Kamala Harris here? Absolutely no.
No,
No.
not possible.
There's nothing she can do or say for us to change our mind.
Damn, that's absolutely brutal. MSNBC, who's voting for Kamala Harris here? Nobody raises their hands. Yikes. Now, how do they pick those people? I don't know. Donald Trump is making the inroads where he needs to. This is very strategical right here. The Democratic mayor of Hamtramck, Michigan, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, the only Muslim majority city in America, just presented Trump with a certificate of appreciation. This is going to be historic for our city. The mayor endorsed Trump about a month ago, and his endorsement has since led to a massive surge in support for Trump and Arab Americans all over the country. Trump is a Habibi now. Very cool. Might have pronounced that one wrong too. Trump is making the inroads where he needs to. This is very strategic, and this has to go back to the Israeli Gaza conflict. No one reasonably believes that it's going to be solved perfectly on either side, but I think that they do realize that if Kamala Harris continues to stay in power, that really it's not going to come to an end at all. If it was going to come to an end, it already would have, and Trump is really the only one that has any weight or power to be able to do such a thing. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Mr. President, on behalf of the city of Hamtramck, and we would like to present you a certificate of appreciation for visiting our city. And I would like to call the three elected officials, if you don't mind, to join me to hand you this certificate, please. It's going to be historic for our city.
Absolutely lovely. This is great. I mean, you know, that vote historically has gone to the Democratic Party by a large margin. And this year it very well could go for the probably for mostly Donald Trump and a third party, which would be just absolutely amazing if Democrats showed up on the in third place there. Jill Stein is very popular as well. Here's some Muslims for Trump. Well, as you know, in most states, early voting has already started. Now, a lot of people are looking deep into these numbers. Who really fucking knows? I mean, honestly. However, I do feel, and this is just a feeling, that there is some hope to be had with the fact that, you know, it is some kind of indication that at least the idea of only voting on election day has gone away from the Republican Party. That has been a big thing that the Republican Party ground game has been working towards for a couple of years now, getting people out to vote, banking the vote, getting mail-in votes. And this is a quick little video about swing states and the early voting. Let's hear what they have to say.
But based on the likely partisanship of the voters that we've seen so far, we're seeing more Republicans as a share of the electorate than Democrats. Take a look at that. 4 years ago, less than a third, only 32% of people that had voted so far were Republicans. That's up 6 points so far this cycle. Now, that could be a sign of enthusiasm among Republicans. It could be because Donald Trump is sometimes at least supporting early voting. And it may be that these are voters they're going to vote anyway on Election Day. But the bottom line is that people are voting and they're enthusiastic about this race. In Pennsylvania, we've seen Republicans so far ahead of the 2020 pace. Again, Democrats are still a larger share of early voters, but there are more Republicans in just about all of the states where we've seen significant votes so far. But based on the likely partisanship of the voters that we've seen so far, we're seeing more.
All right. Sorry to get that going twice. So, look, you go, you know, in 32% up to 38%, 6% doesn't seem like a lot, but overall, I think that's a great thing. That in these early states, well, Florida's up there, Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Wisconsin. That's great. You know, it's like, let's say you had 10 people that are Republicans that are early voters. It's like, oh, well, they probably would have voted on election day. Okay, cool. Well, at least their vote is banked. And how many people do you know that are right-leaning, that were getting off work, or they had groceries in the trunk, and they pull up to the closest voting station that they had, and the line was long as hell. And they said, dude, fuck it, I just can't do this. I gotta go, right? The fact that people are voting is going to shorten that line on election day, and historically, Republican turnout has been higher than Democrat turnout on Republican Day percentage-wise. And I think that this will help. So this is going to carry forward some big gains. And I would also like to see how these mail-in ballots are breaking. I think that's going to be huge as well.